Your person was involved with someone else, but now they have an important message for you that will shock you. Listen, not with your ears first, with that cavern in your chest where memory echoes. Because what I'm about to tell you isn't a rumor or a gossip line you scroll past at midnight. It's a small, dangerous truth wrapped inside a voice note, a folded letter, a message that arrived when the world felt ordinary and then, quietly, shattered everything you thought you knew. You knew they were with someone else. Everyone did. There were pictures, polite smiles at parties, messages that arrived at strange hours. You watched them move through your life like a tide, close enough to drown, far enough you couldn't reach. And in that slow ache you learned to breathe around the absence. You told yourself the story that made sense. Subscribe now to Psych Secrets and be part of a journey where every video inspires you to see life with a new perspective. They chose someone else. You rewrote your nights to fit that script. But tonight, or maybe this morning, in the quiet when your phone vibrates and your heart forgets how to be reasonable, there's a message. A message so simple, so raw, it feels like the weather changing, warm, then suddenly winter. I have to tell you something, they say, and you already know the sentence. Your body remembers the shape, the small confession, the tremor in the throat. But you don't expect the weight of what follows. They were involved with someone else. Yes, but that was never the whole story. There are 3 things I want you to feel in this voice note. Not just to hear with your ears, to feel. Regret, clarity, and a decision. Each one lands like a coin in a fountain. Each one makes a different sound when it hits the water. Listen to the ripples. First, regret. Not the melodramatic, dramatic kind. The quiet, honest kind. The kind that wraps itself around the truth and refuses to let it go. I was afraid, they start. I chose comfort because it was expected. I lied because it was easier to keep you at a distance than to break everything I had built. That's the first blow. It lands gently and then lingers, because who among us hasn't chosen ease over courage? They tell you about the small human things, the reasons that never belonged to romance. A job that demanded a stable image, a family that expected a certain map of life, a fear of being the person who ruins a nicely arranged life. Their words paint a scene you recognize. The slow suffocation of living someone else's plan. But then the voice shifts. Second, clarity. It never stopped being you, they say. Even when I pretended it was about paperwork and plans, even when I told myself I could be happy with someone else. I kept replaying the way you laughed, how the corners of your eyes crinkled when something surprised you, the way you believed in small miracles. I kept thinking, what if I had been brave? This is the hum under everything. The realization that the affair, and I use that word loosely because it wasn't always passion, sometimes it was just a placeholder, was never the point. The point was you. You were there, in the background like a persistent melody they could not forget. It tells you something truthful about human hearts. They are not tidy. They carry the wrong things, the right things all at once. They make maps that cross through cities they swore they'd never visit. Now the confession deepens. They tell you about the nights they stayed awake, about the cigarette they smoked on a balcony facing nothing, about a smell, rain on hot pavement, that suddenly made their chest squeeze. They remember your name as if it were a prayer. And then the voice becomes small, honest, unguarded. Third, the decision. The thing that will shock you. I left, they say. No flourish, no dramatic pause. Just a stillness like a held breath. You expect an apology, maybe a promise to stay distant, to be respectful, to move on. But what follows is not what you expect. I left because staying would have been another kind of betrayal. To you, to myself, to the truth. I left because I couldn't live another year pretending I had the right story. I left because when I looked at them, I was always impossibly thinking of you. Your head spins. The shock is not in the leaving, shock is an honest thing. It's in the timing and the consequence. They left someone else. They chose to end what was comfortable. But the message is larger. They didn't leave to create a tidy, happy ending. They left to clear the field, to be honest with themselves for the first time. And then there is the part that folds inward, the vulnerability you weren't ready to hear. But I'm not asking you to take me back, they whisper. I'm not here to fix what was broken, or to erase the hurt I've caused. This is what makes the confession real. They don't bargain. They don't offer grandchildren or apologies as currency. They offer truth, raw, unadorned, and something heavier, a reckoning. They tell you about the nights they wrote letters they never sent, about the day they burned a photograph and cried like a person who has discovered their own reflection after a long sleep, about the times they Googled how to say I'm sorry and deleted every answer because none of them sounded like them. This is important. They accept that pain exists. They accept they have hurt you. They accept they have been cowardly and brave in awkward human measures. They tell you, with a voice that breaks only once, that they understand if you never want to hear from them again. And then, the shock you feel is not just their leaving or their apology. It's the message at the end. The thing that flips the entire frame of the story. There is something else, they say. Something you need to know. I thought if I could just clear the air, if I could just be honest, you'd know what to do. But I left with a secret I didn't plan to keep. I'm carrying your letter. The letter you wrote years ago and never sent. I found it inside an old book when I visited your apartment. I read it, and I couldn't stop. Imagine the scene. A book with your handwriting folded inside, your truth folded beneath the creased pages like a fossil. They found it years later, when someone else's life had been erected over the quiet rooms of what once was yours. They read the letter and it broke them. It scared me how much of you I had missed, they confess. Your words were sharper than I remembered. They made me see how long I had been sleeping with my eyes open. This is intimate, impossible, alive. Because in that second, their confession becomes both a mirror and a key. They didn't just leave someone else. They left because your voice, the you had hidden even from yourself, made staying impossible. But if this were the end, the story would be tidy. The shock would be a single, sharp lightning strike and then the rain. This message keeps raining. And there's one final thing, they say. I need you to know. I am not the same person who refused you. I have learned how to be quiet with my own fear. I have learned how to stand in sunlight without squinting. But I also know I broke you. They do not ask forgiveness. They do not demand a second chance. Instead, they offer a truth-laden task. They ask you to choose, not them necessarily, but your own life. I can't tell you what to do, they say. I can't tell you to open the door. I can only tell you I am here. I am honest. If you want nothing to do with me, I will walk away and carry the weight of it. If you want to speak, I will come when you're ready. If you want time, I will give it. But know this. I left someone else not because I was running toward you, but because I couldn't live with the lie anymore. What follows is silence. A long enough silence for the room to change shape. For you to remember the smell of winter mornings, the groove of a laugh, the comfortable, cruel rhythm of assuming things would always remain the same. Here is why this shocks you. It peels back the comfortable explanation that they were with someone else and replaces it with the devastating truth that they were also with you in a way they never allowed to be. It shocks because their leaving is not a clean moral judgment. It is a human confession. It shocks because it insists that choices are complicated, layered, and full of contradictory motives. Now listen to me, because this is the part your audience will lean into. Humans are not made of single edges. We hurt and we heal. We run from our fear and we walk back into it. The important message isn't just about them. It's about what their confession asks from you. A decision from the truth of your own heart. Will you forgive? Maybe. Will you need to? Not necessarily. There's power in saying no to someone who has hurt you. There is also power in saying yes, if your heart has never stopped whispering their name. But before you decide, breathe. Let the shock simmer into reflection. Ask these small, brutal questions. Did you love them the way you thought you did? Or did you love the idea of them? Can you trust the truth now, after the years of concealment? Are you choosing them because of loneliness, or because of something steadier, a deep, sustained pull that does not depend on drama? They leave you with one last line. Tender, honest, almost holy in its simplicity. I couldn't breathe when I was pretending. The only thing I can promise is honesty from now on. Not perfection, not an easy life, just honesty. There is no neat ending here. No cinematic embrace that erases the past. But there is an opening, a door slightly ajar. And the truth in your chest will tell you whether to step through. If you are the kind of person who turns this into a story, make it feel real. Let the camera linger on the small things. The book with the letter, the coffee cup with a lipstick stain, the light on the balcony where they smoked their cigarettes. Let the voiceover breathe 3 seconds between sentences. Add a pause when the words "I left" arrive. Hold that silence like a prayer. And at the end, leave the audience with a question they can't answer immediately, because people click replay when their hearts are unsettled. Would you open the door? Sometimes the bravest thing is to let someone go. Sometimes the bravest thing is to let them stay. If you're recording this, slow down on the confession. Make the voice break, but not too much. Let the truth carry the tremor. If you're watching this as the person who received the message, remember one thing: your life does not belong to anyone else. Not even to the person who finally found their way back. Decide from the quieter room inside you. Be honest about the hurt. Be honest about the longing. And if you choose to let them in, do it because your heart says yes, not because their voice finally sounds right. Subscribe now to Psych Secrets and be part of a journey where every video inspires you to see life with a new perspective.